I'm Dr. Randy Fagin. Welcome to part 4 of our 4-part series in building your Da Vinci surgery program. If you are picking this up midway, this is a series of talks that's intended to be watched in series. So if you've just kind of jumped into number 4, I'd encourage you to go back and listen to 1, 2, and 3. They tend to build on one another, and it'll help you to apply the concepts that we've learned to have listened to the previous talks. This one is on the performance enhancement cycle. So we have already figured out how we're going to reduce variability in our operating rooms. We've figured out how we're going to use parallel tasks to improve our efficiency and improve the quality of what we do. We've created our leadership structure and communication strategy so that now we can actually implement change. Well, now we've got to actually implement that change. And the performance enhancement cycle is the way that we're going to do that. So the cycle is very simple and involves doing just 3 things. That's it. You have to listen, you have to learn, and you have to act. So on the listen end, we want to start by gathering information. We don't want to make any assumptions. We don't want to assume that a problem is here and here's how we're going to attack it. First thing you always want to do is to gather information. We want to gather it from our leaders. We want to talk to folks in administration, talk to our surgeons, talk to people in OR leadership. We also want to talk to our teammates. That means we want to talk to our nurses, our techs, our folks who are in central sterilization, the attendants. We want to talk to everybody who this change may impact. If we miss somebody, if we often make the mistake of just as leaders saying, I'm going to fix this problem and I'm going to implement this solution, but we don't talk to all of our teammates that are involved in this, and we miss important things. So the first step is you have to talk to everybody, gather information to figure out what's actually going on. So once we've listened, we have to learn from the information. You got to evaluate it, okay? So we've pulled in, we've decided we're going to measure stuff. We've measured performance. We're measuring efficiency, whether it's wheels out to wheels in to incision, how long are they in pre-op. We've measured efficiency. We've measured waste. We've looked at, how much stuff are we opening on the back table that we never use? What are we actually wasting in terms of stuff, in terms of time? And we measure communication. We measure the ways in which we're able to communicate with each other. Are we being effective? Is what we're saying being heard? And when we do this, we're actually measuring quality. It's quality that we're looking at. And once we've measured this quality, once we've listened to all of this, we're going to learn from it. We're going to analyze it. Once we've analyzed all of this, then we have to say, okay, we got to do something with it now. We need to act on this information. Now, you can't act on all of the information. That would be a problem. I mean, chances are you're going to go through the process of gathering information, analyzing it. You're going to find a whole bunch of stuff that you really like to fix, that you think will really be impactful for your robotic program and creating growth and building that program up. Don't do all of them. I want you to pick one. Okay, so if we're going to act, always start by picking one, just one opportunity for improvement. I would encourage you to find that one thing where you feel you can put in the ratio of effort to reward is the greatest. You get the greatest reward for the least effort. Pick the low-hanging fruit, the thing that you can really get a win on, okay? So pick that one opportunity. Let's say it's going to be operating room efficiency. You want to improve turnover times. And you've said, okay, we've looked at our turnover times. They're miserable. They're like 55 minutes from wheels out to wheels in. So we're going to start measuring our wheels into incision, our incisions closed to wheels out, our wheels out to wheels in. We're going to measure all these things. We're going to standardize the way in which we do our turnovers. We're going to standardize our trays. We're going to standardize the room layout. We're going to standardize the roles in those rooms. And then we're going to actually do parallel tasks. So once we know that everybody has their roles, we're going to start overlapping those tasks so that they're in parallel. So we create our strategy, right? So we've picked our one thing, we got our strategy. And now that we've got this strategy, we got to implement it. So we implement that change. But we're not done, okay? Once you implement the change, it's not high fives all around, hey, we did it. We have to start the process over. We have to say, did it work? Okay, what was the impact of the change that we had? Okay, we have to go back to measuring, listening to gather information from our leaders, from our teammates, learning from it. Did we actually create the change we thought we would? And then acting on that. And that action can either be, hey, we did an awesome job, let's just maintain this, move on to something else. Or it can be, this wasn't as awesome as we thought it was. We need to actually figure out a new way of attacking this problem. We want to implement this within our house, okay? So we've built our house, we've built our staircases, and now we want to implement it in there. So how do we do that? Well, it's the operational oversight and program management team that are going to figure out what do we want to listen to, who do we want to listen to, and what did we learn from it, okay? So these groups are going to decide that. It may be program management saying, this is the vision for our program, and based on that vision, this is what's most important to us. Hey, walk down a flight of stairs, operational oversight committee, can you please figure out how we can improve this? Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely we can. We're going to walk down a flight of stairs and walk up a flight of stairs to gather information. And they gather information from program management. They gather information from day-to-day Da Vinci Room. All that information, back up a flight of stairs here, back down a flight of stairs there, then it gets analyzed. So the learning is happening here. So when we're listening, we're typically listening to these two groups, and the learning happens here. When we're going to initiate an action, we have to inform program management, walk up a flight of stairs, and we have to initiate that action, walk down a flight of stairs, and initiate that action here. Starting the process over, yeah, we're measuring down here, so that measurement, typically it's the Da Vinci coordinator or circulator, that measuring brings the information up a flight of stairs, gets analyzed at operational oversight. That analysis then gets relayed back down to these folks. Hey, high fives all around, you did an awesome job. Or, you know what, not quite what we thought. We need to rethink this. Information always goes up to program management to say, hey, here's the impact that we had. Any changes that you want, or what's next, or hey, is this good enough for you? All right, so we've completed our cycle here. We've talked about how we can reduce variability through standardization. We've talked about standardizing room layouts. We've talked about standardizing personnel. We've talked about standardizing trays and pick lists. We've talked about using parallel tasks, how we can actually do things in parallel, assigning different tasks to different people in an effort to get things done more efficiently. We've talked about leadership and communication. How do we build our house? How do we put people at different levels so that we can make the right decisions, where we're getting the right information to the right people? How do we create those staircases? Remember, build your house, then build your staircase. So how do we communicate between those groups? And then lastly, how do we use all of that to enhance the performance of our team by using a simple listen, learn, act, repeat performance enhancement cycle? I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope it helps you. And I look forward to seeing you at one of the programs that we offer in the future to help you guys build your Da Vinci programs to the highest level possible.